Hello, Gunpla guys and gals. Dan here. I realize it's already 20 some odd days into the year, and I haven't done an update video on anything Gundam related yet. So, if you have been watching the channel lately, you've probably seen a lot of Let's Play videos. I did a kit talk of the Perfect Grade Millennium Falcon, but I haven't done any Gunpla related content. And it doesn't mean I'm not working on things, it just means that with the larger scale of kits I'm currently working on, updates are going to be a little bit slower. I'm calling 2018 the Year of Giants, and for me it's just that I'm building some of the larger kits that I have in my backlog that I really just want to get built and get out. Starting with the Master Grade Psycho Zaku, which I'm going to show you updates in this video, followed by the Perfect Grade Unicorn Final Battle, then the Perfect Grade Strike Freedom, which I have a resin dress-up kit for, and then finishing off with a Perfect Grade Banshee Final Battle. So I have my work cut out for me. It's going to be a lot of work. I am looking forward to all of these kits, but I also know I am maybe digging myself a little bit of a hole here. Probably going to drive myself a little bit crazy because I'm not necessarily a big fan of the larger kits, especially when they're done back to back. But hey, I've had them in my collection too long and they need to get out. So in this video, I'm going to show you the progress I've made on the Master Grade Psycho Zaku, some of the goings on that we're going to be doing regionally, as well as some of the smaller projects I've been working on. I have information on the Patreon giveaway that I announced during my last live stream. I'm going to try to do more small giveaway stuff for patrons, kind of like on a monthly basis, probably as part of the live stream, but maybe outside of it too. This month I'm giving away a high grade kit as well as a Hobby Japan magazine that has some stuff with that kit in it, so it's a good pair. And I think next month I have some tools that are going to be given away to a patron. So if you're not already a patron through Patreon and you want to get in on that, or you want to get involved with the collaborative projects I do, with getting a free commission, with just hanging out in the live stream, or getting access to a lot of the like Adobe Illustrator iconography that I do, you can get all that stuff through Patreon, and there's a link in the description. If that sounds like something that appeals to you, just sign up. You can get in for as cheap as $1 a month, so not a whole lot to lose. So I think I'm going to start with the Master Grade Psycho Zaku here. If you're not aware, it's a Kotoki kit. It's a really large kit, and it's essentially a highly modified Zaku 2 with a ton of weapons and some really big fuel tanks. And I opted to start this build with those big fuel tanks. So this is the main booster unit, and it's just held on by these 4 little parts here. And this thing is substantial, as you can probably tell. It's probably about as thick as a water bottle, maybe. I originally wanted to start with like all the fuel tanks in the backpack, and then do all the weapons, and then go on to do the mobile suit. And it pretty much wound up that I did the fuel tanks and the weapons at the same time, because that's kind of the boring part of the kit that I don't really like doing anyways, so I figured I'd get it out of the way. So this is fully painted. I decided to use a very light gray for the white on this kit, so this is Gaia Notes Neutral Gray number 1. The body is a mixture of natural brown and black, so it's fairly brown in picture. It's a little bit darker in person. And then I opted to change out the nozzles a little bit here, so instead of doing these in solid gold, I decided to do them 2-color with a gold interior. Be nice if you focused. Yeah, we can focus? No? Yes? Yeah. Gold interior, gray exterior. So I just prefer the way that looks. So let me put this down. I'm just going to kind of build a pile of stuff here because that's what this kit is. It's a pile of stuff. We have 2 smaller fuel tanks, and both of these fuel tanks are essentially the same fuel tank with different equipment on them. So I'll start with the one that's in my hand currently. This is the upper fuel tank. These mounts here for the 3 bazookas that fit in it, and it kind of fits up at an angle like that, kind of mounted into the large tank. And then this is the smaller one, kind of similar theme here with the verniers, gray and gold. These mounts back here are for the 3 Sturmfasts, side brackets for the machine guns, and then we have ammo clips on the side here. And you can tell down there, for example, the decals didn't line up 100%. I played with them quite a bit trying to get everything even, but sometimes things just don't work out the way you want. On this tank, you're going to notice these little gray pop-outs here. There should be, yep, they should go all the way around the tank. I hand-painted all of those on both fuel tanks just because the detail's there, so I figured, hey, why not capture that detail since it's already there. We also have, and I'm getting kind of into the weapon systems here before we move on to the backpack. We have 3 bazookas. They're all painted, but I'm only going to show this one here. I opted to go for a 2-color scheme here, painting the barrels this lighter, I think this is like neutral gray number 2, and then the ends in the center are neutral gray number 4. The sights don't yet have the lenses in them, but they are otherwise fully painted. And no, we're not going to focus. You can make out some photo etch parts down here. And there are also photo etch parts up here on the knob of the scope. I've used them sparingly on the weapon systems just to bring out some added surface detail. Same thing on the beam bazooka. There are photo etch parts inside the scope as well as around the scope. I didn't really do too much with this. Painted the interior there. Did some detail painting inside of the barrel of the beam cannon, although you can't make it out the way the light is. And then the piping down here. I think this is off of the Dom, but this is not the beam bazooka from the original Char Dom from like 2000. It's a newer mold, thankfully. And all those bazookas, I believe, are from one of the versions of the Zaku 2, like the Johnny Ridden or Shin Matsunaga, one of those guys. We have 2 machine guns. These are also from the Zaku 2.0. Didn't really do anything too special with them. Decided to keep it to 1 gray color. They're both missing their lenses right now, but we'll get to those eventually. We also have the ubiquitous Heat Hawk. So nothing too special here, just hand painted the black, and of course painted the rest of it gray. And the Sturmfaust, which I decided to use. This orange color is going to be the same orange color I'm going to use on the Psycho Zaku itself. I did a similar color scheme back on my HG Zagak, so I like the way that looked. I think this looks pretty nice too. I have the stand painted as well, but it's solid black, painted and top coated, so I don't think that's worth showing off. But we also have the backpack unit with the little grabby hands up here. I think I'm going to leave my grabby hands mounted up like this versus the way the manual suggests, which is down like that. I don't really like the way that looks. I prefer it up like this because that's how it looked on the high grade. I think that's how they show up in the manga, if I'm not mistaken. Similar, color schemes here to what we've seen already with the gray and gold. I did hand paint all of the interiors of these verniers gray because otherwise they'd be white, and that looked a little funny. The area underneath the verniers here I masked and painted gray just for a little bit of color separation. Normally they would just be the same surrounding brown color. And I opted to change the color of this interior track. I think that's normally white. I like this kind of like gray color a little bit better, just for a little more color differentiation. So that's about as far as I've taken the Psycho Zaku for now. It's a large kit, obviously. I didn't want to start this kit with the mobile suit because that's the fun part of the build for me, and if I started with that, probably as I got through the build, my desire to finish it would wane. But getting through the boring part, I'm air quoting, um, it leaves, leaves the kit to finish, and that's finishing on a high note. And I've actually gotten a fair bit of this mobile suit painted actually this weekend, just because we've had weather that was consistently like above freezing, which is a veritable heat wave in New York State right now. So we've painted all of the red parts, which have a nice bright glossy red finish. And I think this is Guy Note's bright red or basic red. I don't know what they call it, but I really like the way that turned out. More neutral gray with the frame parts, and then navy blue for the navy blue parts. So none of this stuff has been detailed or panel lined or anything yet. These are just like freshly painted parts, more or less. If I'm good about painting this week, and if the weather holds up, it's possible that I will have this kit 100% painted by next weekend. I don't guarantee that because sometimes when the weather gets nice, I get lazy. But I have made pretty good progress on it this weekend, and I'm trying to keep that momentum up as much as possible. I've already gotten, like, this kit comes with a, like a postcard size sheet of decals. This isn't a great scale, but it's probably about as long as this. And as it turns out, like, 75% of that decal sheet is for this stuff. So there's actually not too many decals left on the kit. I also have the special decals that came with the initial release of the model. I don't think I'm going to use them because the gold and the silver kind of clash. They don't really fit with any of the other decal colors on the kit, so that's kind of whatever. So I'll probably start the decal work by next weekend if I stay on task. And my goal is to have this kit ready probably by like the first week of February. I think that would be a good goal to set. And then I'm probably going to take a quick like sanity break, build something smaller and get it out there before starting up on the PG Unicorn, because that's going to be a pretty big project. So speaking of small sanity projects, this Friday, last Friday, the Friday on the 18th, 19th, that was the monthly build night for the Syracuse modeling group. Unfortunately, the week before we had to cancel the meeting due to inclement weather, but we still had most of our members show up, and then they subsequently didn't show up on Friday night. So I was there with one other individual, and I spent the night working on the real grade Unicorn Gundam, which I finished snapping up today. I still have to do the weapons and the shield, but so far it's a pretty impressive kit. The joints are a little bit stubborn. I'm probably going to have to spend some time loosening these up or, making adjustments to the joint itself just to make it a little bit easier to pose. But it feels sturdy. The transformation is good. The horn that I got with mine for the split open version for the destroy mode was actually bent, so I'm glad that they essentially give you two with the transformable one, but I'm going to have to try to iron out that first one. I personally like my unicorns folded up like this, so I'm probably, when I finish painting and displaying mine, it's going to look like this, but, painted and stuff. The only thing I'm kind of like thinking about is the what do they call it? The action frame, the real grade frame, because it has psycho frame parts that are pre-molded on there, and I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to approach those. If I'm just going to mask or hand paint, I don't want to leave them unpainted, but I also understand that it may not make a lot of sense to spend the time breaking down each section of the action frame to paint it. So probably cross that bridge when I get there. I have the decal sheet both for the real grade version and the high grade version of this kit, so it's probably going to get a hybrid Verka style scheme. I have plenty of reference material for that, having built several of them, so I think that's the direction I'm going to go. Set that aside. And I'm going to take a second to kind of make some space over here while we talk about the giveaway. So this month for the Patreon giveaway, I have a kit and a magazine. The kit is the high-grade Dandelion, which, if you're not familiar, it's the high grade with the big removable arms. I've seen a lot of people do some fun kit bashes with it. Initially, when I bought the kit, my intent was to make like an RX-78 kit bash, but not having the time to do it, I've decided that this would probably be better off in the hands of someone who has more time than I do to do fun little projects like this. So the winner of this kit will also receive a copy of the September issue of Hobby Japan. This has a nice spread on the Dandelion, if I can find it. Yep, there we go. So if when the person gets this kit, they look through the magazine, they see like some of the things that this modeler did to theirs and they want to copy it, or they want to kind of riff on that, there's lots of good information in here on how to do that. So that's always a fun way to start off a project, is to look at someone who knows what they're doing and kind of go from there. There are also some other good kits in there, and a lot of the material in this kit went on to the Gunpla Weapons high-grade modeling magazine that I have. Not had a chance to review yet, but I really like the master grade one, so I think I'll probably like the high-grade one as well. Before the stream, I did run a random number generator, and it picked the fourth person that left a comment on the video, or on, not in the video, on the Patreon post as the winner of this kit. And that winner is Gerard Zarate, or is Zarate. I apologize if I'm butchering your name, but you are the winner of this kit in the magazine. So you can contact me through Patreon to claim your kit, and I'll get it out to you as soon as I can. And then next month, I'm probably going to do some basic tools. You know, if you're a modeler that already has like a set of God hands and all the BMC chisels and a couple of hobby knives, you probably won't find much utility in it. But if you're newer to the hobby, or if your tools aren't that great, you'll probably find a lot of utility in what I'm giving away. That all being said, I think that wraps up the update for January of this year. Yeah. I definitely have my work cut out for me with the Year of Giants. Those perfect grade kits are going to take a long time. So I asked, if you're looking for a lot of updates and a lot of kits posted, like last year where we did like 23 kits last year. You're not going to get that this year. I'm going to be blunt. The projects that we're tackling this year are a lot bigger and a lot more intense, so it's the nature of the beast. But once we get through that, I have a lot of smaller projects that I'm really eager to tackle. And yeah. And if I do finish all 4 Year of Giants kits, I think I may plan on doing a trip down to Gundam Planet, or I don't know, somewhere else, and I'll pick up something insane like the MG Deep Striker, or the Neo Xeon, or the Dendrobium, or something, crazy like that, the Mega Size Unicorn, or Zaku, or I don't know. But if I get there, I'll put a post together, maybe do a road trip. So we'll see. So that's it. That's the update. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the video. I'm active on Twitter. I'm active on Patreon. You can find links to both in the description, or you can always reach out to me through my blog. There's always a post at the end of the video directing you to that, so you can look at all the cool stuff I finished. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Dan out.